And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is the maker's dilemma. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's MURDY creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our product shots. Follow us to keep up to date with our daily photos and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and getting exclusive colors on the website, or you can get a blank one on Amazon Prime. All right, so today we're talking about what's called I call the maker's dilemma. And it's kind of been an ongoing issue for us for a couple of months, and I've been really frustrated about it for the last week or two, and it's something I really thought might make a good podcast. So first and foremost, the company has gone through ups and downs throughout the course of the year. That's very normal and very common for companies. Now, us being in our second year, and I think we're just getting into our 21st month, it's hard to predict anything. There's no history for us to go on. There's very little for us to be able to look back and say, this is how our company did in the past, because the history is just not there. It's just not that we haven't had that long of a time in business, so it's hard to see trends time to time. We had seen last year a rise in November. Actually, starting November 1st, we saw a big kickoff from even a very serious difference between like the last week in October and the first week in November. Very different weeks. And I kind of expected that this year, and it just hasn't really materialized. And I don't know what that's from. I don't know why that is. We've been working on trying to figure out great ways to, engage and bring new life to the community in ways that we haven't before. We're still obviously trying to do the things that we know work and the things that we always have really pushed towards, but we're still working on new things. And it's been a little bit disheartening to not see a significant jump. I'd kind of been counting on that. We keep saying, after the summer season, we ran into that big slow season. And for us, it was a very serious time. And, suddenly things were not as good as they were before. And we were trying to run on, as little money as we could. It really forced us to become very efficient in that regard, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm not upset about that, but I kept saying, once we hit fall and the summer's over, people will start buying. And then fall came around and our numbers didn't pick up that much. And then I said, well, we just got to wait till it gets a little bit closer to Christmas, right? And then companies will start buying for their employees. And that happened a little bit, but not to the extent we thought it was. And now, we're moving into November. And in October, I said, you know what? November's coming, Christmas season's coming. And so it's been difficult. And it's made me look back at what's changed, because we, in the first 3 or 4 months of last year, or of this year, I should say, and through about May, saw a pretty significant growth. I mean, those were some of our best months, and we haven't done worse these last few months than those first months, but things have definitely not gone up, and they've gone down from our peak a little bit even now. And so I've been thinking to myself, what could be the cause of that, right? What could be the reason? And so there's a couple of things. One, obviously, we've vastly changed the website. We've done a very different thing with our website. And, I thought it was for the better, but maybe not. And we looked at how we've done our marketing, and our marketing hasn't changed significantly. I mean, we're posting fewer photos, but I think we're making up for that by producing better quality. And maybe we just need to go back to producing more content. But our Instagram growth has been relatively similar to when it was during that time period, and our effectiveness as far as our cost per click per ads hasn't changed that much. So that doesn't seem to be the real indicator to me about what's going on. But I think one of the major differences is that we have a much, much larger product line now. We have significantly more options for people. Back during our best months, all we had was our 3 or 4 number ones at that time: the slim cut binder, the wide cut, the pocket cut, and I think we had the pen cut at that point. And we had our classic cut number 2. That was our only number 2. And we had our executive cut number 3 refillable folio, and that was it. We had a couple of pre-engravings, but not many. And there's a part of me that wonders if that smaller, thinner product line was better. There's a great book out there I've talked before on the podcast called The Paradox of Choice, and the whole point of the book, the research that was done for the book, shows that when people are given more options, it actually decreases purchasing. And it can decrease purchasing pretty significantly. And so that's been something I've been struggling with, because once the genie's out of the box, once you've designed and made a product and it's in the market, it's really hard for you to say, you know what, we're just going to discontinue things. Now, should we? I don't know. I personally got into this because I love making things. I love making new products all the time. I love the research. I love the development. I love doing the design work. We've got a lot of great things that we could launch, and there's a lot of great things that are pretty far along the development. We get requests for, all different kinds of journals that are out there, like covers for specific journals, unique ones. We get tons of requests for, obviously, iPad, iPhone, computer cases. We get tons of requests for those. So, for me, it feels like there's this plethora of opportunity to make, and I want to make. I want to do new things. But is doing that what's killing the company? And I don't know. I honestly don't have a good answer to that question. And it's hard. It's hard to look at that and say the answer to the problem is to stop doing the thing that you enjoy the most and to slim the product line back down after you've launched all these things. And it's funny because, if you were to ask a customer, well, what do you want? They tell you we want all these different things. But, we've created a ton of products that have been very specifically built to accommodate a lot of the requests of the audience. And I don't know, the results of the sales of those have been lackluster and have been relatively unimpressive. We've seen some great ones, but I don't know. We haven't really had, the number 3 redesign was a pretty big hit, all things considered, but we haven't seen a lot of just blow the doors off the place successful products in a long time. Everything does okay, and some things do pretty terribly. But that's where, for me, I've been really thinking, what can we do next? And I don't want to stop developing, and I don't think we're going to stop developing. But maybe it's a complete overhaul of our website where we really limit what you can see at a time. So we make it so that when you land on the website, you only see one thing. Or another idea that I've been doing was when you land on the website, one of the first kind of options is to take a product quiz where you answer a series of questions and it recommends a product for you. And maybe that's the answer to solve the paradox of choice problem, because then, the question is, there's all of these different options and they're all so pretty, I don't know which one to get, kind of disappears because we can help walk you through that process. And but then there's always the flip side of that is if you do that, well, are you limiting the customers and they're unhappy with the product they end up buying because they wanted something else, but they didn't know it? That's always a reality. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm trying to think of ways to solve this because I do want to continue to launch products, and we are going to continue to launch products. But I don't know. This is the maker's dilemma. Do you take what you've got and keep it limited, keep it focused, keep it laser precise, and don't expand beyond that, even if people ask, even if the customers want it, because it creates a problem where then nobody wants to buy because they don't want to buy the wrong thing, which is a silly mistake, of course. Or do you continue to make and continue to expand, but then, people aren't willing to push, people aren't willing to buy? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm thinking that one of the solutions for us particularly may be in our vegan line that we're potentially launching in 2020. It could be in our international launches because those will be restricted product lines just because of the nature of the product. So perhaps that might be an opportunity for us to really slim down, what we're offering in those countries and saying, what, we're going to try this. We're going to test out this hypothesis. We're only going to launch 3 or 4 products, maybe the metric cut number 2, the travel cut number 3, the executive cut number 3, and a metric cut number 1 if we ever get around to launching one of those, right? Those 4 products, nothing else. And maybe it's only in 1 or 2 colors, right? Maybe 3 colors. We do 2 basic colors, espresso, chestnut, and then one of the premium colors like black. So, maybe that's the answer, is that we use the international market to leverage that focused, solution. But I don't know about that either, because that's a little ways off. That's going to take time to develop. We're going to have to build connections in those countries to be able to provide the support we want. Even if we launch on Amazon in those countries, we still have to worry about the trademark and copyright concerns. And is it even worth trying to create any sort of intellectual property protection if there's no way to enforce it and we don't have the resources to enforce it? These are all real questions, and I don't have a good answer for them. So what do we go from here? What do we do? Well, for me, I'm going to keep making things. I'm going to keep designing products. I'm going to keep making and designing and building. I'm not going to stop doing that. It's the question of how do we strategically organize our product line? How do we organize our launches? And how do we organize the way our product is portrayed to the consumer, to the end customer, to help organize and slim down what they see? And maybe that's not even the answer, right? Maybe the paradox of choice isn't the problem. Maybe there's some totally different reason why people aren't buying, and I just can't see it. But you can't just stay the course when things are going poorly, right? You can't just hope that they'll get better. You have to take action. You have to come up with a plan, because while the cost of changing things could be really high, the cost of not changing things isn't necessarily, less expensive, right? That's not necessarily better. So we power forward and we evaluate the options in front of us as best we can. So once again, I'm going to issue a request to the audience. If you guys thought about buying but haven't, for any reason, maybe you want to buy now, right? Maybe you've wanted to buy for a while and you just forgot, right? Whatever the reason is. If you found us, liked the product, and haven't purchased yet, tell me why. You can either comment in the comments below if you're on YouTube. You can send us a message on all of our different platforms. You can send it to me directly at colin.murdy@murdycreative.co. You can do any of those things. Just let me know, because we can send out surveys to our customers who have purchased from us. But that doesn't really answer the question, because if we ask them, what made you buy, or how did you find us and what caused you to purchase, they can answer a bunch of questions. But really what I want to know is, for those who didn't purchase, why didn't they purchase? So tell me about it. I'm always looking for new ideas, and you guys have been a real source of inspiration before, so I'm counting on you guys. All right, folks, thanks for checking out the podcast today. Be sure to check back in on Thursday for our next podcast. I apologize for not getting last Thursday's out. I had part of it recorded, but it got a little bit hectic, and I'll give you guys more details on that later. So don't forget to check that subscribe button below, though, to be sure to get the latest podcast right away. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binder, journal, or folio, please feel free to contact us on the main page of our website at murdycreative.co, or you can contact us via Instagram and Facebook. You can text, email, call, direct message, all the usuals, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible, but I do appreciate your patience. If you think I deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow our new community. And word of mouth is still the best form of advertising, so please tell your friends. In light of telling your friends, check out our brand ambassador program. We're still working on getting the tracking links sorted out. I'm going to do a whole podcast on that. It's become a whole thing. But you can still get signed up, and we still have some cool missions to get started on. And then once we get those tracking links set up, you can actually earn sales commission on sales made through your links. So that's a cool little neat thing. If you are looking to leave a review, check us out on Facebook, murdycreative.co. Our Facebook page, if you click on the reviews tab, it'll say, do you recommend the Murdy Creative Company? You can just click yes and then write your review there. Or you can leave a review on the podcast on whatever app you're listening on. So go and check out and do that, because I do read them and I love them. So if you have any podcast topics you want to hear more about, send them my way. I'm always happy to engage with our growing community, and I want to give you guys what you want. If you're looking for multiple binders for gifts, giveaways, menus, really any reason, ask about our bulk discounts available, especially for the Christmas season for you corporate buyers out there. Let's get those orders in right away. We have a little bit of a 3 to 4 week lead time on bulk orders, so we want to make sure to get those in with plenty of time before the Christmas season hits in full force. For those of you who are looking to just purchase one for your friends or family for Christmas, make that purchase now. I don't necessarily know what we're going to do for Black Friday, but it's not going to be a financial discount, so you're not going to get money off per se. So there's really no advantage to waiting. And in fact, some of the issues we've been facing with the production and getting supply chain and everything means that we have some delays and back orders on some things, which we're all going to resolve before Christmas, but we're hoping to get things out. So if you want to make sure to avoid the delays, go buy now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.